This episode of the Pickleball Show with Curtis Reese is brought to you in part by Gavin Fight of Resolute RE, the commercial real estate experts. Resolute RE is helping to bring more pickleball courts to the Lone Star State with free market analysis, site selection, and lease negotiations for your next pickleball center or restaurant or retail store. You name it, we can help. Ready to elevate your game? Visit the link in the episode description to learn more.
We're going to introduce him as Fred McMahon. Okay.
Ed McMahon. Remember,
Fred.
He's too young. Curtis is too young.
Shut up. Let's go. We started, Ernie. We started, bro. It's on.
Awesome.
Let's start real random. It's got 27 letters. It's called ADHD. Yeah. A little rainy here in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're going to have to add Fort Worth into this, you know? Hi, welcome to the show. My name is Curtis Reese. We're glad you joined us. Please subscribe. It's like a click. I will not spam you with crap. It's how I get to have all this stuff and this awesome dude right here and this awesome dude right here and other people over there. But let's get this started. Without further ado, this man has been a pillar for Dallas-Fort Worth tennis since how long? When did you get here? Did you get here with the rest of those guys? 88?
89.
1989. I just will say his name. He doesn't have two first names, but his name is the Ernie Abraham. Or is it the camera 3? Ernie Abraham, what's up?
Not much. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. A little wet outside, but that's a good day to be inside.
Well, we're going to get started with Ernie Abraham. He's been doing stuff here since 1989, and I met him in near 2000 when I was at Brookhaven, thank goodness, and he was killing it over. Were we at Walnut Creek back then? Walnut Creek. It's in Fort Worth. Yep. So he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's got going on and his endeavors and what he's been through here. So let's get started without further ado. Ernie Abraham, we're going to pick the way of pickleball. Let's go. Tell us about your story, what, when, where, why pickleball.
Well, pickleball, it's interesting because as a tennis professional, a few years ago, currently I'm at Southern Oaks, and we always had everybody saying, hey, we want to put some pickleball out here. Let's get some pickleball going. We always kind of fought against it a little bit as tennis professionals, but finally did so. Got lines on the course, started with tape, and started with the tape stuff. And then, people started getting a little involved. Tape. We're not going to put tape down every day. Wind's blowing it off.
God, I hate tape.
So I said, we're done with tape. We're getting lines. So we put lines on, permanent lines on one of the courts, which is all pickleball now, and then another court. And pickleball just kind of grew like,
what year was that?
This was probably 2000. Oh, this was just about 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah. Okay. 4 years ago. And, then just few people came out, did some open play. Now we're having open plays with 30, 40 people out there. And so pickleball is just kind of, just like, everybody knows how it's going crazy. And then about a year and a half ago, it's funny how just a fun conversation I was having with
tell us about this.
One of our. This is
awesome.
Sometimes my words come out and I don't know where they're gonna go.
Dude, I do that every hour. You know that. Now, come on, let's go. Keep going.
So we're having a conversation on the court, and this is one of our members at the club, owns a lot of land around, and we have some land by the club, and I said, hey, when those houses going in over there, when are you going to build this, some of these estate lots we're seeing over here? And he said, well, we're, a lot of trees over there. We're building a lot of areas around already. I said, well, why don't we put a pickleball center over there? And
you said that?
I did.
Shut the hell up. You said that to them?
Well, I said that, and I said, I was actually joking. And he said, you want to put in a pickleball center? I said, well, yeah. And I said, well, we can't do it here, but I got this other spot. And it was right off our golf course on another side. And long story short, we started talking and said, well, this isn't going to be good because there's going to be a lot of noise too. So then we got interested in this one guy called me one day, and I thought he was just talking about our tennis and pickleball program.
You can name drop if you want because we're going to tag him.
Well, he was, I can't, it was just a business guy in Dallas area. And so we own this building, and we would like to get y'all involved in taking it and doing something with indoor pickleball. And it was not for lease yet. There was someone in it and said, hey, would y'all look at it? So we went through a year, about 8 months going, probably wasn't even that long, 4 or 5 months just looking at inside. And we were actually getting ready to lease the building. And then something just hit me it was a blessing that we went in there and looked at the floors again.
I understand that.
We pulled out, and then 2 weeks later, Peter, the gentleman that's in with me, said, "Hey, I got some land. You want to just new build?"
Man, why doesn't that shit ever happen to me, huh? Tell me why. God.
Let's new build. And I said, okay. And here we are today, and we're actually in construction right now.
What's it called? What's the name of this place? Where's it at?
It's going to be called The Stack.
Mm-hmm. Where's it at?
It's in Burleson, and it's right off I-35, about half mile west.
Off Hidden what?
Hidden Creek.
Hidden Creek, yeah.
It'll be actually on Hidden Creek and Hidden Vistas, actually going pretty much right into a neighborhood.
When are you opening up? Or theoretically,
we're hoping, of course, late July, 1st of August.
All right.
And so, it's through construction. Of course, today's rain's not helping. So,
so here's a little trivia. You want to come in here? Okay. Here's a little trivia. Is that I learned this from Tammy Patisse. I say this all the time. Don't be mad at me, Tammy. She played college tennis, I think, at Florida. Somewhere awesome like that. If I got it wrong, don't get mad at me. She's the director of pickleball at High Point. She called me, and you know what they call people who put tape down?
What?
Net fairies. I got called. So that's why you said put the tape down. I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Another fact. And another, no, listen to this. So when I was at a certain club when I first started this, I put down on 2 indoor courts by myself, I put down 8 pickleball courts while the staff watched. So anyway, so let's go back to the way of pickleball. So is there a brand you like? Is there a paddle? Do you like to play singles, doubles, mixed, or do you play? Or just what do you do with it? Obviously you like it.
It is what I tell people. I said, you start playing, even a lot of my tennis buddies, I said, I said, it's addicting. Mm-hmm. Once you get on there and you start playing, and it's an addicting sport. I've played about, probably 6 or 7 tournaments.
You have a brand you like? You have a paddle you like?
I started actually kind of playing with Diadem for a while. And, I'm kind of like, it's like when I actually try to pick a golf club or I started trying everything. Now I don't even know what then I kind of started trying Holbrook gave me a paddle to try.
Nice.
So I started doing that. And then now I'm actually trying out an engaged paddle.
Good.
So, but love doubles, love mixed doubles. I played actually my doubles partner in the tournament was one of our golf pros.
Yep.
And he really wanted to get in pickleball, and so we played some doubles and played with him. He's young, so I got to play the young side.
Mm-hmm.
Then I played with another member who's a senior, so we played seniors and played with my daughter in mixed. So
so you don't play singles, do you?
I have just for heck of it, not in a tournament. And people, that's a workout.
No kidding. I mean, that's why I don't do it. So we got another guest here. Hey, what's up, JB?
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Jason is our photographer and good friend, and they work together over there. You're at Las Colinas, which is out there by the area of Fort Worth, right? Yeah, good.
Oh
yeah. So we're talking to you too, bud.
Ernie for years now.
Yeah. We all have. So we equate Ernie to the Craig Bell of Dallas. Yep. He is the Craig Bell of Fort Worth.
Exactly.
And that's a lot of respect, don't you think?
Oh yeah, very much so.
A lot of respect. So JB, what have you been up to lately, man?
I mean, taking a lot of pickleball pictures.
What was your latest tournament?
So I was down in Baylor this past weekend. They're having a collegiate regional down there.
How's that?
And it was an awesome event. It was the first time they held it there. They had, I think, about 9 teams that played in it, and they were all vying for a bid to a national championship tournament.
Wow. What college was it? Like Big 12 or just whoever?
It was all a mixture. I mean, you had Baylor was there. You had Texas State was there. You had University of Houston was there.
Wow.
You had
who won it?
Baylor ended up winning it.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Doesn't shock me. Whatever. Baylor Bears. Sick 'em.
Exactly.
So we're gonna go back to Ernie here. Ernie. So let's talk about what so far we're still in the way of pickleball with Ernie Abraham, director of the Stack in Southern Oaks?
Southern Oaks tennis director. Now I'm apparently paddleball nowadays it's racket sports. So
I think
just make myself that title since we're
he's bragging. Look at him now. So, well, Jason, I think that Ernie's probably earned the right to do that.
Oh, very much so.
Seriously, a very humble man. So. All right, so let's talk about your favorite memory in pickleball so far. What do you got? I'll ask you in a second, Jason. What's your favorite right now, Ernie?
Pickleball memory. I think a lot of it is, I think, this adventure of building this facility. We didn't think we were going to be building something again. You know, we kind of had a big hand in building the Southern Oaks program and the tennis, and just kind of our family's going to be pretty involved in this. And my wife and daughter will be involved. So the memory of getting this thing going and them involved. But you told me we were going to build another club or build another business along with Southern Oaks already. I say, okay,
next thing
there's
you do,
no
you have your own
retirement
podcast
going on.
You don't need to retire, man. I don't want to retire.
No, my wife doesn't want me to retire.
No, well,
she seen me at home on a snow day. So.
Well, there's no more snow days for you now. You got the indoor facility stacked.
No, there's indoors now.
Yeah.
So Jason, what's your good memory right now that you've had so far?
My memory still is about showing up at the events and just the experience. Because even I was out at McKinney for their tournament, and after I took a bunch of pictures and I sat down and just had lunch, just sitting there and just enjoying the atmosphere of just the people having fun and just enjoying the day being out.
Any bad line calls? Any fights?
There was one. I mean, I was at one. It was a different tournament, but yeah, there was a couple of players that got chippy with each other about a call, and they didn't have an official on the court. So
they're supposed to have officials on the court. That's fine.
Some tournaments, there's just so many. And so especially with the amateur division, they don't always have officials there, and so it sounded like the guys knew each other, and he was like, I know you don't like to make the right call, but you got to admit to that call right there. So you need to own up on it.
Should take a picture of that.
He didn't own up on it. I know I was ready to video it all.
Well, it's funny saying that. We'll have our tennis ladies next to our pickleball players, and we'll see the pickleball players start to argue about something. Man, they take that serious. I said, you're playing USTA ladies tennis.
Exactly.
And you're saying they're getting serious over there?
Right. It's all, exactly. It just transfers left and right. People are like, oh, wow.
Oh, jeez. Well, these are two class acts they're from that side of Dallas Fort Worth there. Here, Jason Brown is the photographer of the show, and a pro and a guest. And Ernie is obviously a mentor and a friend and a guest of ours always. You'll start seeing him more a segment here quarterly because he'll be talking about the stack coming on and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go back to Ernie. So tell us a little about your background. Where are you from? I know you played some college, I think, and tell us about how you got into tennis and tell us about your family.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma originally. Moved down here in '89. Lived and graduated Yukon, Oklahoma. Mom still lives there. Kind of got into tennis. I played. It's funny. I started golf first. I was 6 when I started golf, and started playing tennis when I was about 10. Back in the day, junior tennis wasn't anything like it is now.
No,
not even close. And started playing. Got into school. I actually was going to go. I played a lot of golf. Was actually thinking about going on the golf team in the high school.
Really?
And then my best friend was on the tennis team. He was the top player on the tennis team. He said, well, why don't you just play tennis? And so, because we hit all the time.
Yeah. What school was that?
Yukon High School.
Okay.
So that's kind of how the tennis got started. Was pretty close. I could play some small college tennis, which I didn't choose to do. I decided to go. I was a Sooner in and out. Jason knows that.
We all know that, Ernie. The whole entire world knows you're a Sooner, dude.
If we want to start doing a Sooner football show or something later, we can do that too. But or maybe we don't want to. But
it's along the same lines as Jayhawk basketball right now.
That's Topeka's finest, Jason Brown.
I took the Sooner route, went to OU, and it's funny because I was a big weather guy. I was actually a meteorology major, and kind of got out of that a little bit because I was in the engineering field too. I said I want to be in weather, but I don't. I said I don't want to be into that involved. So now I'm just in it for the fun on the weather side. So
there you go.
But yeah, I still go up to Oklahoma a lot because we go up to all the games, and of course my mom lives up there.
Your wife's Debbie. How long have you guys been married?
We've been be 40 this year.
She's a class act.
40 this year.
And you have daughters too?
2 daughters, 5 grandkids. Awesome. We've got an all-girl family, except I got an 8-year-old grandson now, but I got all nieces. I got a great niece now, all granddaughters.
What?
So the women training is well versed.
Yeah.
So,
Jason, what about you? You tell us where you were from, but tell us about that. Did you go to MLP event or up in McKinney? What was that?
Yes.
How was that? Or PPA? What was that one?
PPA event. It was great as always. I mean, and one thing they did showcase at this one for the first time was they did a collegiate battle, And so they had A&M's pickleball team play Texas Longhorns pickleball team.
Who won?
Texas won.
Oh God!
Yeah, they're pretty stacked.
Okay, Ernie wants to know, was OU there?
I know. I have not seen an OU club team yet. So
Well, we're gonna have to approach them now.
Yeah,
you will.
I have seen some OU pickleball paddles, so they're out there. They're out there.
I keep going about your event.
So that was pretty awesome. I mean, one thing, it was freezing cold, but I stayed for the duration of it. I mean, and that's with the college kids. I mean, it's just the full college atmosphere, the full college environment when they're out there. I mean, you got your teammates on the sidelines cheering you on. They're all wearing their school colors, school names. It's a great experience.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Ernesto Abraham. So just go back to a little bit of in the kitchen. Do you have a favorite player, male, female, or just kind of like everybody? You have a junior player around Burleson that's coming up or anything like that?
On the tennis side, we have a lot of kids that are playing, in the kind of the mid levels.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, when I was back in Walnut Creek, we had a lot of upper players, got a lot of kids in college tennis. Here we got actually some kids last year. We got about 5 or 6 kids that went to small college tennis. Not a lot of D1s right now, but
doesn't matter.
But yeah, it's a good program. We go back. Marla Kruger is actually my junior tennis director, so she's got a lot of.
She doing any pickleball yet?
I was wondering because I'm not sure. He may have been asking about pickleball players.
Yeah, pickleball players.
You're talking about. Well, I'm still the tennis guy, right?
All right, this shit's over with. We're coming out of here. No,
okay, well, thanks.
I mean, it was a great story. It was a great story. Yeah, well, I was like, I think he was looking for the pickleball player.
Well, the pickleball, probably. I love to watch. It's funny how I watch a lot of the pro tennis players that are now playing the pickleball, and I still have. It's crazy. I know Jack Saw got pretty
Sam
involved.
Query's hilarious, by the
way. And it's funny when I see maybe like a John Isner on a pickleball court.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that is just still.
That's something to see, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think he played a celebrity deal or something with Dirk.
He did. Yeah, I was over there. Jason was there last year. I was there the year before.
I said, how do you? I mean, that wingspan's. That's not even fair.
Yeah, I took a great picture of. It had Jack Sock on the other side of the net, and you had Dirk and John. And so all of a sudden it looks like Jack and these two giants up there. So yeah, it's pretty impressive when you see those two tall guys on the court.
They look big on a tennis court, let alone a pickleball court. But I think it's just fun to watch these guys play that are and I watch now a lot of I've seen Agassi on the radio.
Those are fun, aren't they?
Yep.
I mean, some of those things are fun to watch, just seeing the tennis guys coming over. And I think tennis players coming to the pickleball has kind of changed the pickleball mentality now.
Exactly.
So
so we're going to go to the next part of here, and this is for you listeners and viewers. We always like to ask our superstar pickleball pros, savants, enthusiasts, industry leaders what their favorite drill is. So what's your favorite drill, Ernie, to teach in pickleball? Or anybody that you like that you see your pros teach?
Well, I like the people we have at the club teaching, or even some of the tennis guys. I kind of like the drive and get in, or not so
Up
much
and drive.
It's the tennis player still coming out of you a little bit, and you just get that drive going. And I'll have some pickleball enthusiasts said, no, you need to have a little bit more touch.
It's true.
Coming in on that, and I said,
it's true.
And I said the hardest thing it was for me and I had to kind of start teaching myself is I wanted to hit and get in. I forgot about that ball bouncing.
You can't do that really.
Yeah,
it's
so
changed.
It's changed the whole. So I have, my muscle memory now is better with
that.
Yeah. And, you can't serve.
He's
in
an
volley.
athlete, Jason.
You can't serve in volley and pickleball. No. So, but my favorite shot.
Favorite shot
is my name.
Ernie.
Ernie.
Yeah. That's right.
You gotta have the Ernie.
That's it.
There you go.
So that's a no-brainer.
Jason, what's your favorite tip or drill to do, and your favorite shot, Jason?
So my favorite shot is the overhead, which I recently discovered. My overhead outside isn't as great as it is inside. Just because I don't play outside that often, so I like.
He's got indoor courts.
The ball's blowing around. I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy. So, I mean, I would say the overhead's probably – well, actually, honestly, I only did the overhead because I know you try to lob. So, if you ever play me in pickleball and you lob, I'm going to probably crush that ball.
It's on.
There you go. But my forehand drive, I really like hitting my forehand drive.
Can't believe you said try to lob, dude. I lob, you jerk. I lob.
Okay. That's okay. I can get up.
Born in the same town, different year, Topeka, Kansas. And he treats me like this.
Is it top spin lob?
It's understood.
Top spin lobs.
Understood.
Well, see his favorite. Look at that, the drive. Here comes the tennis out of the drive.
I know. I don't like driving.
See?
I mean, if I'm like 9 or 10, I like driving the ball. You know what I mean? That's okay. So let's go to in the kitchen. This is where we ask our players, our guests, some personal stuff like favorite movie, favorite show, all the stuff you want to get to know about these guys. So without further ado, the Ernie Abraham, what's your favorite? What do you jam into music right now? What's the go-to all the time, or does it vary?
Well,
what do you listen to?
Well, I love all music. Of course, I love the old stuff. I love the 70s and stuff. I'm a big country music guy. I love Brooks and Dunn.
There you go.
Love, Cody Johnson's becoming a nice favorite.
Cody Johnson?
But Brooks and Dunn is a lot of my go-to in country. But the 70s classics.
Of course.
I love of course, my daughters, they're all into the 90s stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that. With high school and college in the 90s, man.
Yeah, and they were that Super Bowl show that was about 3 years ago or 4 with Snoop Dogg. They thought that was the greatest thing.
Oh, my God.
They thought that was the greatest thing on earth.
Which was interesting about that, knowing Snoop Dogg and those guys when they're in their heyday.
Yeah,
that show wasn't as good as those guys really are.
Right.
And everything I watched, I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
No.
But
they just wanted to see Snoop Dogg.
Favorite movie?
Boy, A Few Good Men was one of my favorites.
Okay, I read that.
Of course, anytime Twister and the Twisters come on, they hate my Debbie. If I'm scrolling and Debbie sees me and Twister, we're committed now. I've seen that show probably 40 times, and it's got 10 minutes left, or it's got 2 hours.
Favorite sports team?
That kind of brings back home.
Favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? Well, no brainer in college.
The
Sooners.
Oklahoma State Cowboys.
It's funny. That's funny though. My dad was an Oklahoma State alum, so
of course, that shot me in the foot.
Pro wise, of course, I'll follow the Cowboys. Just not a
we're all there.
Big fan of how
we're all decades of this mediocrity.
But I'm a bigger probably college guy than I am a pro guy. But I do like. I follow my guy with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love my Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Oh, very good. There you go. Okay.
I will follow him, and I do.
I'm having a tough time liking Ernie right now, but it's okay. Here we go.
And he did a great job turning his career. He did a good job turning his career around.
Anyway, my wife went to Tech. She doesn't like Baker Mayfield. So we're gonna go.
He's a Patrick Mahomes guy.
Right.
No,
exactly.
Now wait a minute. You guys know I've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan since I was 10. I don't want to hear that crap, man. All right. So anyway, last question is favorite pets. We have 2 dogs, a Havanese and a golden doodle.
Yeah, we had of course, we had a black lab for years. Years ago, we had to put her down. Then we had a calico cat. I'm a dog person, but we ended up with a calico cat. Then her name was Callie. She lived for 21 years. We had her 21 years. Wow. And a princess. So we were basically in her house.
Yeah.
But we don't have any pets right now because we're either gone a lot. Davey and I are empty nest. So getting someone, if we have a pet, we want to be there for it. So we're all over the place. Yep. So right now, but we do have a grand dog.
That's all you need.
2 grand dogs. We have 2 grand dogs.
There you go.
Jason, let's go to you, bro. What's your current favorite movie right now? Favorite music, favorite movie, favorite. You tell us about you.
There's the Denzel and his Equalizer series.
There's
supposed to be a new one coming out at some point. Yeah. And so that's what I'm geared for right now.
There's a new one.
There's supposed to be a new one coming out.
Oh, great.
And actually, I think I saw where there's supposed to be 2. They're supposed to be doing 2 of them, kind of making them back to back. And then it's supposed to be his last ones, but obviously you never know.
Those are good ones.
Yeah,
those are all good.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are good movies.
Yeah,
they really are.
Yeah.
All right. So what about your favorite music?
Music? Right now, I was listening to a little PJ Harvey.
Nice. What album?
I'm in.
Down by the Water.
That was Down by Water and her second one. So
yes.
Down by the Water, and it was the one
PJ Harvey's
This
awesome.
Is Love or something like that.
Yes.
So yeah, those are. I mean, that's my base of all my music is that college rock band. Just because when I grew up, that's what was out there, and that was all the good stuff. And so that's kind of like my main listening.
So let's go to this one real quick. We're going to wrap up because we've been here for like 5 years. We're going to wrap this up, and this is where I ask our guests something unique about them, something that they think's not like gross, but they think people are like, holy cow, man, that's pretty weird. Not like that dude needs to be in a straitjacket. We're not going to do that. So what's something about you, Mr. Abraham, that people don't know, but it's pretty quirky?
Well, I think the thing that always gets them is the weather thing. People didn't know I was.
I didn't know you were a weatherman. I had no clue.
So
don't tell anybody else that. No, I'm kidding.
I'm the first person I call with a weather question now.
I know.
What's going on with this weather?
What did you? How do you read the weather? I don't get that.
Well, I did. I haven't done much in the last 2 years but I was chasing a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
You're a tornado chaser.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not like some of these big guys that are.
I don't know, but you still chase
4 or 5
tornadoes.
days.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
I've,
weird.
I've
It's a new one.
driven to find them. A couple
Wow, you're weird. That's
So
awesome.
that might be a straitjacket deal.
So now,
No, my job is.
So do you think that could be from growing up in Oklahoma? Because I grew up in Kansas, and we have all the weather and everything else, and I've always liked that. So do you think that was kind of like you're seeing all these neat weather patterns?
It was tornado capital, of course, and then of course up till I was about 7, my mom was because she was in a bad tornado in Oklahoma City when she was growing up, but she had me scared to death of storms. Then it just went 360, where now I'd rather be in one than hide from one. So there's the straitjacket part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Oklahoma was a good training field.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, what's something about you people that would think's unique and curious, or that would thinks, wow, it's kind of cool?
So right after college, I had two unusual pets. I had an iguana, and I had a boa, a red-tailed boa constrictor. And so, the iguana got to be about 5 feet.
Straight jacket
about
and everything,
6
bro.
or 7 feet. And
you had a boa that was 6 feet long?
He grew big. Actually, it was a she. She grew real big and everything else.
What do you do with it?
You mean like?
You snuggle with it?
No. I mean, it has
stare
a
it?
cage. I mean, I
Sleep in
bring
your
it
bed
out
or anything like that.
else. So, they have them around their necks.
Somebody causes crap, you bring that thing out, they go running? That's what I use it for.
You weren't one of those people who got stuck and ended in the toilet and got into someone else's. I mean, it wasn't one of those.
Oh, my God.
No. I ended up having to sell them after a point.
What was her name? What was the iguana's name?
Seraphina was the iguana, the snake, and Iggy was the iguana.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Snake.
So,
boa.
Yeah. It was one of those things where growing up I always wanted one, and then a buddy of mine owned a pet store, and he had one in there, and I was like, I've always wanted one, and so he gave me a great deal on it. And there you go.
Free? I mean,
No, I had paid a little bit of money.
Okay, so listen, this just got really weird. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end this segment. Why do we
need 2 straitjackets?
Freaking muzzles and everything, man. All right, so let's go. We appreciate all your time right now. But Ernie, how would people get in touch with you if they wanted to? I'll follow the Instagram. Nick, give us everything that people get to contact you about your stack or lessons or groups or events with you.
Yeah,
how do they do that?
We've got Southern Oaks and the stack. We've got Instagrams on both, and email, Instagram, Facebook. We're heavy on Facebook and Instagram. We're just starting our marketing media on the stack.
You are? Okay. Well, I got right here.
And our website is just forming on the stack. So probably as we get closer to about May, you'll see a pretty heavy presence on our webpage on the stack. So, or easily email or just, I'm pretty accessible.
Yes.
So.
Jason, you?
I teach
for
tennis.
For photos, iteachtennis.com.
I teach tennis, gmail.com, email.
He's
and
on
then,
there actively.
Instagram, I teach tennis.
All right. Well,
it's real easy.
What are you trying to say? It's hard for me?
No, I'm just like,
God, man, it's Friday. It's wet and rainy.
And he has a boa constrictor logo on it. Apparently.
Whatever. You guys are all nuts, man. I'm getting out of here. Shut up, Bob. Whatever. Woo! Let's another segment here with the crazy boys here from Dallas and Fort Worth. Now this thing. We got Ernie here. Everybody have a great day. I don't know what to say. It's wet. It sucks. Anything else you want to say?
See ya.
Ernie?
Glad to talk to everybody. Hope to see you again. I hope we get invited back after
that ain't happening.
White jacket.
No, we're gonna have a boa constrictor and iguana here.